Welcome back to Fashion with Sought Out YouTube channel. So good to have you here again. So these are the materials I'll be making use for this skirt. So I have my Ankara print here, beautiful as you can see it, and then my lining. So right now I'm going to set it aside, and then we'll do some basic calculation needed for this project. So now for the skirts, in making the skirts, what we need first, the body measurement we need is our waist and then the skirt length. Okay, so the waist we are working with is 29 inches, while the length is 42 inches, right? So I'm going to just write down the 42 inches. And then for this skirt, as you can see that it has band. For our band, the band measurements that we'll use, the band we'll use is 2 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the 2 from the 42 inches. So I have 40 inches right now, which is our length. Okay, so now what I will do now is the layers. For the layers we need 4 layers, so I'm going to be dividing the 40 inches by 4, and then the length of each layers will be 10 inches. Now, so the next thing we are going to work on is the lining. Okay, so the lining length, what I'm going to do is remove 4 from the normal length, from the normal dress length. So the lining length will be 36. So I'm also going to divide the lining length by 4. Okay, because on the lining is where we'll sew the Ankara fabric. So I have 9 inches. So for the normal length of the Ankara cuts, we'll be having 10 inches of the 4 layers, while the lining on it will be placing it on 9 inches. You get what I'm saying better when we start. So 9 inches for the lining and 10 inches for the Ankara fabric cuts. So I'm just going to run over it again. The waist is 29, the length is 42, and then the band of the skirt is 2 inches. I removed 2 inches from the length, so which gives us 40 inches. So from the length to get the Ankara cut, I mean the layers, I divided it by 4, and then 40 divided by 4 gave me 10 inches. So on the lining, I reduced the lining by 4 inches, which gave me 36, and divided by 4, and I had 9 inches afterwards. So in cutting the lining, the length I'm going to be cutting out is 36 inches, and afterwards I'm going to divide the lining, not cutting it out now. I'm just going to make a mark of 9 inches on it. So now to cut our lining, I folded it in a triangular form, as you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to check it out whether I have the width I desire, of course. So I'm just going to place my lining. Afterwards, I have like 21 inches at the base, as you can see. So I just place my lining, so the base will be as wide as 21 inches on fold, of course. So by the time we add 21 inches in 4 places, you know how wide the base will be. So now I'm just going to get out the length, the 36 inches, and then measure out the starting line. Okay, so I will mark the 36 inches and then make a straight line for my starting line. So from that starting line, I will mark out my hip line. Okay, so the upper hip and the lower hip. This is not actually necessary. I just want to be sure that I have enough there to accommodate the hip. Remember that I said the only measurements that is very necessary is the waist measurement and then the length of the dress. So I just want to be sure that what I have there will accommodate the hip. Okay, now next we'll impute our body circumference. Okay, so the waist we are working with, like I said, is 29 inches divided by 4. That gives us like 7.2.5 thereabouts. So I marked the 7.25 and then added sewing allowance to it of 2 inches, and then from there just bring it down all the way to the hem of the skirt. Then I'm just going to mark the 36 inches all the way around at the hem, right? So I'm just going to mark it out so that we can cut it accurately. And if you notice that at the fold, it will definitely be longer than what we have at this other side. So that is why I'm marking out the 36 inches all the way all the way around. Okay, so after that has been done, the next thing I'm going to do now is pick my scissors and then cut everything out. So next I folded the back and then added the zipper allowance there to the back, as you can see. So I am cutting the same thing I have at the front. The only difference is the zipper at the back. So I'm just going to cut it out also, and then we'll proceed to cutting the back into two so that we don't be sticking it for the front. So I'm just going to draw it up and then cut it out as you see me do. Okay, so I'll cut the back into two, and after cutting it, I'm just going to join the two sides to the front, like side by side. I'm not going to touch the zipper part, I mean the joining part at the back where the zip will be fixed. So I'll join the side to the front side. I hope I have not confused you. Okay, so afterwards I'll come back to show you how it came out. So but before I go to the sewing machine, let's just fold it and set it aside and proceed to the Ankara fabric. So here is my 3 yards Ankara fabric. So I have the 3 yard folded. I'm just trying to make sure that everything aligns. So afterwards I'm going to take my tape rule, and then to the 10 inches we calculated initially, I'm going to just add 1 inch to it, so that is 11. So I'm going to be marking out 11 inches on the Ankara. So I'm cutting out 11 inches, and why did I add the 1 inch to it? So that it will serve as our joining allowance, and then also to hem each layers. Do we understand? So that's why I added 1 inch to the Ankara. So I'm just going to place my tape rule on it right away and then start to cut the layers. You understand? I hope I've not confused you. Like I said, I'm using 11 inches for each layer. It's meant to be 10, but I added 1 to it so that it will serve as our joining and then to hem it afterwards. So I am going to just start to mark out the 11 inches on the Ankara, and then afterwards I'll cut it out. So basically I'm just marking out the 11 inches and cutting out each layers, and that is what I did for the 4 layers. So I have all the layers ready, as you can see. So what I did next was, I'm explaining because I think my camera did not cover it all. So all I did was from the first layer, which will be I call the first layer the one that will be on the waist, the first layer, then the second layer, then the third layer, then the one that will be at the hem, I call it the fourth layer. So for the first layer, which is the one on the waist, for it to have the same wave, I cut out 1 yard from it, and then from the second one, the second layer, which is the second layer, I removed like 18 inches from it, and then the third layer I removed like 9 inches from it. Then the fourth layer I have the 3 yards. I hope you get it. So from the first layer, like I said, I removed a whole 1 yard from it, so I had 2 layers, 2 yards there. The second one I remove quarter from it, then the third one I remove 4 quarter from it, or what do I call it? So all I'm going to do, I did that to have the same wave. So all I'm going to do now is go to my sewing machine, like I said, join the side, and then I'll come back to show you how it is. So guys, I've joined the 2 sides like you see, and then we have the back still opened. And what I did was to mark out the 9 inches we calculated initially on the 2 sides, as you can see. So I have the whole 36 yards inches divided into 9 inches, and then that's the marking. So on those markings is what I will have my layers placed. So all I will do is now go to my sewing machine, gather the fourth layer, which is the one at the hem. Remember I said the first one will be the one on the waist. So the first layer, I'm just going to gather it, and after gathering it, I'm going to sew it on the first markings from the layers, on the fourth marking from the hem. Sure, I've not confused you. Okay, so let me just go ahead, and then I've gone ahead, gather it, and then sew it to to the first layer from the hem. And do you see how the inside looks like? Okay, so we have the first layer fixed. I also go ahead now, and then I've gathered the second layer, as you can see. So I want to show you how I place it on it. Okay, so the front, I'll place it on it this way and then sew all the way, so that at the end when you flip it down, it will cover the lining. I hope you get what I'm saying. Okay, so I will do that to the second layer too. I will then, okay, so I fixed also the waist layer, but for the first layer I didn't face it front down. I place it directly on it. Why did I do that? Because it will have band, for easy fix of the band. That's why I didn't face it upside down like I did to the other layers. So right away, okay, so this is what the inside look like. Very neat, as you can see, right? Okay, so I'm going to join the skirts together, and then fix my zip and fix my band rather, and then go ahead to fix my zip. Okay, so this is the way I cut out the band. I've cut it out. I cut it out in by 5 inches. I cut it out 5 inches and then folded it. By the time it's fixed, it will be 2 inches that we projected for the band. So I'll go to my sewing machine now, but before I do that, I'm going to notch the center rather, so that it will accommodate it well, and then notch the center of the skirt, as you can see it. And afterwards I'm going to just place the band on it, this notch part facing the notch part, and then for easy aligning I did that, so that by the time it is fixed everything will align right. So I'm just going to go to my sewing machine, fix everything, and come back to show you the final look of the skirts. Indeed, I'm loving it already. And so guys, after fixing everything, this is how the skirts came out. Very, very beautiful. Guys, if you are still this time, I'm pretty sure you got value watching this. If you do, kindly give this video a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, like it, and if you are here to subscribe to this channel, do not wait further. We have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for staying tuned. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.